I need to care, what people think. I need to get approval, right? People go on this journey in life trying to collect as much approval, right? It's like, if I just get the approval, then I'll be good enough, right? From the moment we're born, we're chasing this. This is why, by the way, people dream of being famous, because we think that if we're famous, this is the pinnacle of getting as much approval as possible, right? If you think of your reservoir of approval, we think that if we could just get millions of people to approve of us, then we'll be safe. Because then we'll think, hey, if we have 1 million people who approve of me, if one person then disapproves of me, nothing happens. There's still enough to compensate for that. I won't even feel it. However, this strategy is completely flawed. It doesn't work that way. Because here's the thing. The more you care about approval, and the more you embark on this journey of approval, guess what also happens? The more you start caring about disapproval. It's not like you can only care about approval and not care about disapproval. If you care a lot about approval, you're also going to care a lot about disapproval. And this just traps you, right? You think, maybe here, you're like, if I could just be popular, if I could just be cool in front of my friends, if I could just raise my status and be a bit more high value, people would approve of me and things would be great. But that's not true. Even if you do it successfully and people do start approving of you, because you care so much about that approval, you're going to be even more paranoid than you are now about being disapproved of. And guess what? With more eyes on you, what happens? There's more opportunities for people to disapprove of you. And the more you raise your status, and say you even become famous, guess what? Because you're now famous, because you're now high status, people assume that, you know what? They're high status, whatever. And people are not really nice to people who are high status. People are not really nice to people who are famous, right? Like, they can take it, and you'll actually get a lot more disapproval, right? Being high status, being popular, being famous, all that it does is it simply puts you in front of a lot of people. That's it. A lot of people now see you. A lot of people now stare at you, know about you. That's it. It doesn't make you good enough. It doesn't make you feel enhanced or better. It just makes you feel exposed. That's it. That's the only difference. So if you're right now at a low status level, if you're paranoid, raising your status will simply make it worse. Okay? So the strategy is flawed. The more you care about approval, if you think you'll cultivate enough that you reach this point where you're good enough, no, the more you cultivate, the more you care, the worse it actually gets. How people experience rejection isn't appropriate to reality. They don't, you could say, experience real rejection. They actually get triggered when they get rejected, and that's the experience that they have. Okay, when most people get rejected, they're actually getting triggered. And that's not normal. That is something you can let go of easily and fix easily. Okay, the way, and this is the healthy way to really go about this whole approval, disapproval, right? What do people care? Are they thinking this about me or that about me? Here's the healthy way. You still have to be aware of it. Okay, this is a little side tangent. You still have to be aware of this dynamic of, okay, what's appropriate in a certain context, right? We live in a society, there are rules, guidelines, traditions, and this is great, or it'd be chaos. So you better be aware of the rules. You better act appropriately, okay? And realize too that because people go the other route, they're like, well, screw approval. And then they just do terror. They're like, screw it, right? Like, I'm just going to walk down the street naked. It's like, no, you can't do that, right? So see it for what it is. Be socially aware. And if you want to move up in the world and, let's just say, experience more of it, you're going to have to be approved of. So, there's an interesting dynamic, approval, disapproval. Let me use it to my advantage, but don't attach your self-worth to it. That's the big catch. Instead of being like, approval, disapproval. If someone approves of me, this opportunity opens. If someone doesn't, whatevs, right? I'm still good enough. I'm still whole. What we do is we attach our self-worth and we give our power away to other people, saying, hey, you know what? Here's my self-worth. Tell me what it is. That's what we're doing. Here, you tell me how good enough I am. Oh, here, stranger, you tell me how good enough I am. Which is insane. No, you're not. You're good enough just cause, right? If someone approves or disapproves of you, it doesn't change anything. That's just them. Okay, cool. It does not affect your self-worth as a human. That's the biggest mistake we make. We attach our self-worth to what people think of us, and this destroys us inside. That's the mistake. So yes, go and be approved of. That's part of being, a human. And yes, that will form connections. But your relationship to approval and disapproval isn't, if someone approves of me, yes. If someone disapproves of me, no. Right? It's like people live their lives as if they're going through these mirrors. If you've ever been to like a carnival or a circus, it's like the mirrors that distort how you look, right? You walk in front of one, it's like, I'm really tall. Oh, I'm really small. Whoa, right? That's what people go about their day. Someone approved of me. Yay! I am king of the world. Someone disapproves of me. Oh, I'm just a little peasant. And people oscillate like that nonstop. That is unhealthy. That is terrible. That is something that you can change and let go of. Realize that not a single person can, in reality, approve or disapprove of you. This is huge. No one can actually approve or disapprove of you. Why? Because they aren't you, and they don't know you, and they don't have all of the facts. Huge. If you let this land, it's going to be huge. Meaning, they don't know everything about you. They don't have enough information to even form an opinion, an accurate opinion about you, and approve or disapprove. Only you know you, right? Even your close friends, if you're in a relationship, your family, none of them know everything about you because they aren't you. They haven't been you from the moment you're born, going through all the different experiences. Only you have been that. Only you have experienced all those things. Only you really know everything about you. So why are you taking their opinion seriously? Whether someone approves or disapproves, it really doesn't matter because they don't know all the facts, right? Would you take, for example, my opinion seriously if I started talking about how someone makes an iPhone, right? Or how someone makes a candle. I'm like, the candle, and I start talking about it and giving my opinion about the whole creation process when I know nothing about it. Would you take my opinion seriously? The answer is no. So why do that with others? If you take the opinion of other people, what they think of you seriously, and you let it affect you, well, guess what? That's no different than listening to me if I babble on about a candle for an hour. What other people think of you is simply speculation and projection. I'll say it again. You can write this down. Speculation and projection. Meaning, because they don't know everything about you, they're going to speculate. It's not accurate, so it's fine. And number two, they're going to project a lot onto you. And this is what happens with the unknown, right? If you don't know everything about a person or about a situation or even the future, right? The unknown. You never actually fear the unknown. Little side note. You fear what you project onto it, right? The unknown is like this blank canvas upon which you can project all of these things. So what people think of you, since they don't know everything, it's speculation, and they fill in the blanks by projecting things onto you which aren't necessarily you. And then they form their opinion and they decide whether they approve or disapprove of you. That's what happens. So realizing this, no one can actually approve or disapprove of me is very freeing. It's very liberating. An exercise that I would do during a live event, it's called Transformation Mastery Live, is in the very beginning, everyone would pair up in groups of 4. That's how it worked. It was in groups throughout the day. And the very first assignment I would give people, they'd pair up in a group of 4, is, it's you, for example, 3 people you don't know. The very first assignment is look at the people in your group. 3 strangers. Okay, take it in, get a feel for them. And in your mind, this was assignment number 1. Without telling them, in your mind, I want you to pick the person in your group you like the least. Right? Like if your group's hanging, there's 3 of them hanging on a cliff, and one had to die. Which one would it be? Now, they don't say it out loud. You keep it in your head. And then I ask them, still not saying it out loud. Everyone's doing this, right? They're all looking at each other like, which one did they pick? In your head, I want you to ask yourself why. Because it's 3 strangers. You really know nothing about them. Why is it that this one person stood out? And what they realized through the event is it triggered something inside of them upon which they projected that onto that person, right? It's like, I don't like their face. It reminds me of this. It's like they know nothing about the person. And as they realized later on throughout the event is more often than not, they were completely off with their first impression. Okay, whenever there's the unknown, we project, and we speculate. And that's what people do. So no matter who you are, no one can approve or disapprove of you. You know the only person who can? You. Because only you have all of the information, and only you can make that decision. Do I approve? Do I disapprove? Only you can give yourself real, quote unquote, validation. Okay? Someone's like, I feel bad for the person getting ganged up by 3 people. Well, no, everyone does this. So you're paired up with strangers, and all 4 of them have to pick someone in their head that they don't like the least, that they like the least, right? But you don't say it out loud. No one says it out loud, right? Then yeah, it'd be like, if everyone's like, you know what? We all decided we don't like you. No, that'd be terrible. So no, you don't say it out loud. It's in your head, and people realize this and they're just blown away. Like, whoa, right? More often than not, what people think of you, what they say of you, nothing to do with you, everything to do with themselves.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing, and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like, this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.